So guys, I have been waiting to talk to you guys for all day. Well, basically since I watched the episode last night, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I rewatched it today because I always do that because I get ready for the video that I'm going to shoot so that I have that up tomorrow. But anyway, I have a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about. I mean, first of all, I always watch it live. The ending, I thought last week's ending was so crazy and that they could never, well, that it would be hard to top that ending, especially since it's not like a finale. And then last night's ending was crazier than last week's ending. I mean, this show, though, it's just so insane. Like, it keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So thank you guys so much for being here today. What's up, Dren, Mark, Chloe, Jennifer, Tony, Deja? I know there might be a couple more people in here. Maybe Vanessa's here. Jaria. Hey guys, thank you so much for being here. But wow, I mean, did you guys not just love this episode? I just thought, wow. I mean, there's so many little things going on, not really little things, big things going on that we need to discuss. And a couple of things that I wanted to get your opinion on because I'm not really sure what they're doing or how they're going to handle that. But let's just start with the ending because that was the biggest like OMG moment from the show. So my thoughts on the ending are that Wes did not kill his mom. I know some of you have talked to me about this on Twitter or here in the comments or maybe comments of my older videos. But I want to see what you guys think about that. Hi, Maria. Thank you for being here. Do you guys think that Wes killed his mom? I just find that really hard to believe. Because, I mean, with his personality, he doesn't seem like, I know that he killed Sam, but I mean, that's a little bit of a different situation. But I don't know. I mean, I just really was interested to see what your guys' thoughts were about that. Do you guys think that Wes killed his mom? Yeah, Jennifer doesn't think he did. Hi, Brittany. Thank you so much for being here. And this is Jennifer's first live show, so that is so awesome. Glad you could join us, Jennifer. Ben is here. Ben loved the episode. I did too. I thought it was amazing. So Mark doesn't think he killed his mom either. Maybe that's why Eve said to Annalise, what did we do? And we didn't see Famke Janssen in this episode. So hi, niece. Thank you so much for being here. So we've got to try to figure out if he didn't kill her, who did. Now, the suspect that makes the most sense would be someone involved in the family that his mom worked for, because obviously those people were super evil. But then if that's the case, I don't understand how. Okay, wait, I just had a thought about something. So let's say that the guy's dad, the guy who's in prison, like let's say his dad killed the mom, but Annalise was like terrified that she was going to get the blame, because she did, how like they were like on her back about how she wasn't helping the son and everything. Maybe she had the idea to make it look like the kid did it and then she was going to take care of him the rest of his life or something. Like she did that so that the family would get off for like they wouldn't be in trouble for the murder. Does that make sense? Maria says, just finished watching this episode at the end. You were like, what? But don't think Wes killed her. Yeah, I don't think so either. Jennifer thinks someone framed him to make him look guilty. So yeah, I don't know if that made any sense because I just literally came up with it like right now. But let's say like the dad of the guy who was in prison killed Wes's mom and then Annalise had the idea to stage it like Wes did it so that this guy could be let, out of prison. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, I just feel like we should spend a little bit more time on that. But how do they get into the apartment? Well, that's a good question. Was his mom in a relationship with the defendant? I mean, I don't think so. What I think went down here is I think that the defendant's father, they fed her a story, fed Wes's mom that story. That's why their stories matched, because she was the only person who was going to be able to get his son off for killing his fiance. This show is a little bit confusing. Hopefully you're following me. It's just so complex. So I think that Annalise basically said, if you don't come testify, like when she didn't show up to testify, she was like, if you don't come testify, I don't know what they're going to do to you. Basically, she was kind of saying they're probably going to kill you or something if you don't show up, because this woman who was their maid basically, or their janitor at their business, was the only person who was going to help set this guy free. Obviously, he killed his fiance. The reason he killed his fiance is because she knew that they were corrupt and she was going to like expose him to the police. Plus, he had been like abusing her and everything. He's just a bad family. And you saw that guy the guy's dad, what the crap that he said to Annalise, like he's a racist, he's just a jerk, he's a what's the word, like he hates women, you know, he's terrible. So Mark says doubt that they will let Wes be the murderer, bet that they will reveal in the finale that it was actually Annalise who killed her. Yeah, that's the other thing. But then I don't know, like I don't get, why would Annalise want to kill her, you know? Maria says, think that Wes would remember because he wasn't that young. I remember things much less important from when I was around 10. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think at his age, he should have remembered more. I think we saw like I think it was in the preview where he said he did remember standing over her, but he definitely doesn't remember killing her because I don't think that he did. So Deja says maybe Wes's mom saw something either the dad or son did, and that's why she was killed and she was going to tell, but backed out. I mean, basically, they definitely had all the motivation they needed to kill her because she didn't show up to testify. And without her testimony, that dude was going to prison. Like, he was not going to be able to, he had no one else to help him form an alibi. So Ben says maybe Wes's mom was asleep and Wes answered the door and the person who killed his mom barged in, killed her with the knife, and then dropped the knife and left, which is why Wes had a knife because he picked it up. Right, in astonishment. Right. I do think that scene happened. So I think that's a good point. Like, I don't think someone went over and put Wes in front of his mom and picked up the knife and put it in his hand. I wouldn't think so because he's a little bit too old to have someone stage that and go along with it. But I think, yeah, it's totally likely that maybe he picked it up, like what's going on here or something. Now, okay, we're going to jump around to some different topics here. Do I think Annalise had the child? Asked Jennifer. I don't know. Like, I really expected in this week's episode that she was going to give birth. I don't know what is the deal with that. I feel like she does because I think that would really set up another storyline. Like, I feel like she has this kid and gave it up for adoption or something because then we could set up a whole other story here. I mean, because she has a kid out there, but the only problem is they would be pretty young. I think they'd be like 10 years old. You don't get the motivation to kill her for both the family or the FBI. Well, because, I just think they would kill her because she screwed up. Like, I think they were paying her to come testify. She was making up that story. She didn't see the guy that night. She didn't see the defendant that night. They didn't have a discussion about the weather. So she was paid or whatever in some form, either a college fund, like Frank was saying, or she was paid cash or whatever to go testify. And she didn't show up and she didn't live up to her part of the deal. So I think that they killed her or would have killed her because she betrayed them, basically. Does that make sense? I don't know how Eve fits into the story. Nisa's talking about that because she wasn't part of the trial. So basically, right, there's parts of this story with Wes's mom that we don't know yet, obviously, because we just don't have all the pieces here. So King thinks that Annalise didn't have the kid and had a miscarriage when she was running away in the preview. Okay. Possibly. I don't know. Possibly. And maybe she feels bad like about losing the baby because it's all tied into something bad that she did with this whole situation with Wes's mom. Steffi, yes, isn't it way more fun to be talking about a show that actually makes sense and that we like and that we could theorize on forever? I think so. So Dren got really emotional in the scene where Laurel was talking about her life with Wes in the car, but I see them more as friends than lovers. I do too. Now, I really never saw that coming, although I was looking on Twitter last night and a bunch of people said they thought they were going to hook up a long time ago. But I still don't think they're going to be like a couple. I feel like they can relate really well because I think they came from kind of chaotic backgrounds, maybe chaotic family lives. And I feel like they're really good friends. And, you know, she went to him after the stuff she found out about Frank because she just wanted someone to confide in and someone to make her feel better. But I don't really see them as a couple. I just felt like that was a little weird. I think maybe they were kind of confused about what they were, so they decided to try it out. But I think even after they kissed, they kind of felt weird about it. That's just my opinion. But maybe they're going to make them a couple. It's not like I hate it, but to me, I feel like it felt strange. It didn't feel, I was never getting the vibe that they were going to hook up or that they were going to be a couple or that they were in love with each other or anything like that. We have so much stuff to talk about. Like, we could just talk forever. So Tony says, I feel like the file was stolen and that was just the cover up. So I guess there's a couple of different things in that file talking about dealing with Wes's mom, because in some points it says, or in some parts it says that it was a suicide. And I guess the part that Laurel found was that it was a homicide and that Wes, aka Christoph, was the suspect. So that was kind of all at the very end of this episode. So I'm not really sure. Andy says, what if the family killed the mother to cover the scandal of their son having sex with the maid or slash janitor? Yeah, that's possible, but I still feel like they have all the motivation they need because she was their one chance to get their son off for this crime of killing his fiance and then blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Maybe in some craziness, maybe the defendant is Wes's dad or something. I don't know. I just had that thought. I mean, he was 10 years old, and I don't know how long this woman had been working for these people, but maybe, you know. King says, should have known Wes would be a suspect when they showed him being interrogated as a kid. Right. So that all makes sense because they were like, you're not in trouble, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that makes sense now. Dren says the promo says that the mystery of the murder of Wes's mother is going to be solved next week. So really good. I'm so excited. Okay. So Kink is saying that he thinks that Wes is Race's dad's son. Very interesting. So the dad of the defendant, the one who was saying terrible stuff to Annalise in the courtroom, could be Wes's dad. I like that. I like either him being that or the son. It actually kind of makes more sense that the father of the defendant would be his dad. That's good. I like that. So Steffi says, so Annalise covered up Wes's murdering his mom. Well, we don't know I really don't think that Wes murdered his mom, but we don't know. I think we're going to find that out next week, though. So let's see. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So Tony says, I feel like Annalise and Wes's mom could have switched lives almost like dream logic. Oh my gosh, please don't say those 2 words in this chat. It's not allowed. I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, oh, I'm so sorry. I've got crazy dogs in here. Hopefully they'll stop here in a little bit. I really apologize. They're looking out the window when they hear things. I'll try to talk louder. But yeah, Wes has become like a darker character, possibly. I just think he has a kind of a troubled past, but I really don't want to believe that he is a bad person or like someone who would kill his mom as a kid. I'm sorry. Okay, so Mark brings up another good point about the videotapes. Okay, so we have this whole other story here with someone is basically stalking / spying on Annalise and everyone else, and they have videos from the night that she was shot. Oh, thank you so much, Andy. They have videos of the night that Annalise was shot, but they also are creeping around Annalise's house, and they have this video of her with Nate. Now, it can't be Philip, and I was thinking about this earlier. I think it's someone not involved in the storyline. At first, I really, really thought that it was Caleb. But now I'm thinking it's an outside person. What do you guys think? I am really sorry about the barking. It seems like there's always something going on with these chats that's not related to the chat. Okay. Steffi says maybe the guy killed Wes, or maybe the guy killed who was his mom, possibly to frame Wes, and then Annalise tried to make it look like a suicide. Right. Obviously, Annalise is probably most likely the person who tried to make it look like a suicide. Ooh, so a lot of you guys are thinking that Andy still thinks it's Caleb, which, yeah, that's definitely what I did think. But now Kink and Tony think it's Oliver who's up to no good. Very interesting. Very interesting. That gave me like chills just thinking about that. That's how much I like this show. I have definitely had him as a suspect before. And I think that I mentioned that a little bit in some of my videos for the first half of season 2, and people were like, no, I don't think so. But Kink is thinking that Oliver and Philip are working together. There was some stuff that happened in the first half of season 2 that really gave me vibes of Oliver being shady, but they were just really subtle, because they don't, if someone's really guilty in this show, it's very subtle. Like they don't throw it at you. And I love that about it. So is it Georgie thinks that Nate can be the one behind the videos? I do think Nate is a little bit suspect as well, but he could have, I guess he's paying someone or whatever. Obviously he couldn't have shot that video of those two together. Mark says if Oliver was evil, I would die. Now that I think about it, he's so innocent that would be absolutely amazing. Right. He is so nice. He does. I mean, here's the thing. He does all of this work for Annalise. He's not getting paid. Obviously he's doing it because he loves Connor, but is he? I don't know. Philip is definitely a red herring, as Ben is saying. You know, even Annalise and her people at this point think it's Philip, which I know that she's smarter than that, but it's not him. It's definitely not him. And that really starting to think that maybe Philip is not even a bad person. You know, I'm not really sure. But I saw in the preview that they're kind of teasing that, like, there's serial killer stuff. I don't know what they mean by that. I know that they kind of think that Philip is a serial killer, but I don't know. I don't know if we're dealing with him or what. Oh my gosh, I just had a thought though. What about the eggs 911 guy? I mean, he definitely has the motivation to be doing weird stuff like stalking them and whatever because he thinks that they killed his sister, which they did. What do you guys think about that? So let me see what Nee said. Maybe he's trying to protect Connor, and that's why he wasn't in the video. Right. Oh my gosh, such a good point. So Annalise brought that up last night. She said, maybe you are the one behind these videos because you're not in them. And he was like, oh my gosh, no, I would never do that. That is really, ooh, I think we're onto something here. So Jennifer says, Philip came to Oliver and Connor was worried of where he was with Philip all this time, having a laugh and fun. Do you think they were planning the whole situation? I don't know. Hold on. I'm not sure. This is getting good though. Okay. So we have some people talking about Eggs 911. Andy says Nate and Phil paid Eggs 911 and they've been framed by Annalise. They would both want revenge. Eggs 911 did go to jail, but he went to jail for like what, marijuana? That's probably not something that they could keep him in jail very long for. Plus, if there's any kind of connection with Nate and Eggs 911, he might be able to, or did he lose his job totally? I can't remember now. I was like, maybe he could work some stuff out and get him out earlier. I don't know. Yeah, so Ben likes the Oliver idea. I don't know. I just had this thought because I think someone asked last week, like, where's the Eggs 911 guy? And I guess we assumed he was in jail, but I don't think he's going to be in jail that long. Was it cocaine? Well, I mean, Jennifer thinks it's cocaine. Yeah, it probably was cocaine. I don't know. But if it's not him, I like the other idea that Oliver, and this may be too crazy, but I don't think it is, that Oliver is behind it. And that's why, I mean, that makes so much sense that that's why Connor was not in that video. Vanessa says, no one would suspect Oliver. I think that would be a great twist. So what would Oliver's motive be? Would it be to get back at Annalise for treating Connor like crap, basically, because we know that Connor has kind of struggled with it more than anyone and wants to get away and everything. Ben says, oh yeah, they could have planned it when Philip approached Oliver and scared him in the first part of season 2. I love that. I love that. Yes, Kimar is talking about the Laurel and Wes kiss, which we touched on a little bit. Again, if you just joined us, I think that is kind of where they were, in my opinion, they were kind of confusing what they were, but I don't see that going anywhere, really. But I think they're just really, really good friends. I don't know. That's what I think at this point. Why Are Names Important says, I love this show. Always get straight to business. No messing around, no fillers. Love How to Get Away with Murder. Absolutely. That's why I became so obsessed with it, especially when you watch other shows that do not deliver like this one, then you appreciate this and you know how awesome it is. So yeah, so I didn't think, I wasn't sure about that. Dren says the second video that the stalker sent had Connor in it. So I wasn't really sure because I couldn't see that super well. I do like Oliver, yeah, but I'm cool with that twist of him being behind that, as bad as it is. Like, I don't want him to be a bad person, but at the same time, you know. Tony says, did anyone notice Frank flinch when Annalise was thinking about using the insurance money for Sam? Didn't he already spend it all as hush money? Good point. Who did he give that to, though? It is freezing on my end. I hope that you still see me. I don't know why, but it's just like frozen. My picture is frozen and I don't see any comments. So I don't know if you guys are still here or not. So King says possibly, it's a black screen. Possibly Philip and Oliver are lovers. That is a good point. That's a good, it's a good theory. I like that. Why Our Names Important says, sit down, take a deep breath, and let mommy handle this situation as always. Yeah, I thought that was a really, really funny quote from Annalise in last night's episode. Are you guys still seeing me? Okay, great, because my screen is completely black. Okay, I just feel like in these chats, like How to Get Away with Murder, there's always some nonsense going on, and it's always like my fault. I don't know why. So you thought... Now, this part I wanted to ask you guys about. So Vanessa says, I thought Catherine had a relationship with Philip. I'm really confused here because she made the statement like to Caleb. She was like, Philip is the only person who really loved me like a brother. So what does that mean? I thought they were hooking up, right? I'm so confused. Is Philip gay? I don't know. Like I don't understand. That whole scene I really want to talk to you guys about with with Caleb and Catherine in the jail thing. That was really, really strange. Okay. I'm not really sure what to make of that. Now, Catherine threw out there, she was like, maybe I killed them. I don't think she did, but we still haven't, that's all going to be like figured out at the end of this season, but we still don't know who killed the parents and who killed the aunt. I don't know. Tony says Michaela might be the bad one because she was so quick to jump back in bed with Caleb. I feel like she did that kind of like an Annalise move where you have no cares in the world. You're just trying to get to your bottom line. Like they needed to use him sort of at this point, and she was going to do whatever she had to like get him on their side. Right. Okay. So Ben says they found Philip on a gay dating site. So I'm assuming he's gay unless it's all a big cover up. Now, possibly that is a setup because he knew that Connor and Oliver were gay. So I don't know. Steffi says maybe Philip recorded the video and showed it to Caleb, so now they're teaming up. Yeah, I just refuse to believe that Philip is the mastermind behind all of this. And so Philip said he wasn't gay. That's right. I think he did say that. I was thinking that he wasn't, right? Like he was like onto them, right? At this point, that's what I think. It gets so confusing sometimes. I don't know. So yeah, so I don't know. That scene is very confusing to me. And okay, here's the other thing that I wanted to ask you guys. Philip said he wasn't gay and he did it to bait Oliver. So he's not. So was he hooking up with Catherine or what? And okay, so he is the actual born son of these parents who are dead, correct? And then they adopted Catherine and Caleb, right? But anyway, so I'm trying to figure out what she was saying to Caleb in the jail cell. Like, is she saying, what does that mean? That Philip was the only, I wish you had been the brother to me that Philip had been? What the heck does that mean? I do think that Philip is a red herring. Absolutely. He's not the one. He's not our main villain here, okay? Kimar says Catherine was acting bipolar in this episode. She was sleeping with Caleb, but now only Philip loved her. She was sleeping with Caleb? She was? Okay, but now only Philip loved her like a brother. Then she doesn't want to answer if she killed her parents. She was acting shady. So I thought that they said that she was a virgin, right? I mean, I'm so confused. I thought she had like that test done or whatever that proved that she was a virgin, and that was going to be a big point in the trial because people were saying that the aunt was saying that she was hooking up with Caleb, but he wasn't. Yeah, the last time we saw Philip, he was looking for Catherine. Philip is a product of incest. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is, I mean, it really is like, even though I've watched every episode like twice, it does get confusing. Absolutely, Jennifer. Right. So that is right. Philip is a product of incest and Catherine is a virgin. Okay. So there's something that we're not getting out of that jail cell thing that's important. And I don't know what it was, but there's something we're missing. I mean, I'm sure they'll clear it up, but there's a lot of things we're missing. There's something we don't know about Bonnie and Sam. We do not know that whole story. They keep throwing these little clues out there. No, Caleb and Catherine weren't lovers because they said that they weren't. That was the rumor, unless that's not true, but that was the rumor that was going on because she went to the hospital and yeah, there is actually a way, I think, this is too much probably, that you can prove, you might want to Google it. I think you can get an examination by like a gynecologist and there'll be something that's not intact anymore if you are as a woman. Now, as a guy, I don't think you can. That's probably way too much info, but you guys can Google it because yes, I think as a woman, it can be proved. Okay. Definitely Bonnie and Sam agree. Jennifer had a thing. Did you see the way, like, I think Sam was being nice to Annalise in those flashbacks last night and Bonnie was looking like she was so angry. They definitely were hooking up. I think there's probably more to it than that. I don't know what the deal was. I mean, we know that Sam was just hooking up with everybody, but oh my gosh. So another point that's not even huge, but still, we were almost going to get out of Frank why he had to kill Lila, and the phone rang. Okay, so I was like, no, because I mean, we know it was because he owed a favor to Sam, but we don't really know why. I was so interested in hearing that. Why did Nate change Philip's name in the police station? Does anyone remember that? Because I remember that, and I know there was a reason, and at one point I remember the reason, but now I cannot. Is Philip's last name the same name as the parents, or what? Okay. Why are names important is confused by the ending. Did Wes actually kill his mother? First of all, I do not think that he did, but that was kind of just thrown at us, and I think they'll explain it more in the next episode. The show's producer has suggested that may not be the case. Good. Okay. Yeah, we kind of talked about this earlier, and a little bit or a lot of it, but that's okay. I know a lot of it's not a word. But yeah, most of us think that he didn't kill his mom, and that either Annalise had something to do with this, or the people, the family of the defendant in that case with his mother had something to do with it. So Caleb and Catherine kissed after their parents died. Was that on camera? I mean, did we see that, or did we see that as a flashback or something? I like the Sam flashbacks, Chloe. Now, Sam to me is just a dirtball. I mean, obviously he's dead now, but there's something kind of likable about him. I actually kind of miss him from the show, as terrible as that sounds. But anyway, do we know for sure Sam told Frank to kill the girl, or did they do that to make us believe that? We did see in a flashback that Sam called Frank, and I think either, I don't know if he said, like, you need to go kill her, but he insinuated it. We were led to believe that because he said, you owe me or something. There was a phone conversation between the two of them. Does anyone else remember that? Maybe Wes's mom killed herself for real and he's just holding the weapon. Maybe, but then why would there be all this mystery and everything? I don't know. I don't feel like she did. Can anyone clear up this Catherine and Caleb stuff? Because as far as I can remember, for what we've been told, they never hooked up. Although it's suspicious. I agree. Do we think Bonnie wanted Lila dead and asked Frank to be the hitman because Bonnie is jealous and angry? Don't know. Just a theory that just came into my head, says Jennifer. Possibly, because you remember that Lila came to Annalise's house and talked to Bonnie, and Bonnie had to talk her out of telling Annalise about everything. Bonnie is really shady, guys. And I don't understand. Like, I know that she was mad, which I think is kind of really a double standard. She's mad at Asher because of that whole thing about that girl being raped, even though he didn't rape her, blah, blah, blah. And that's why she broke up with him. But what was up with that last night? Like, she told him she can't help him out or whatever. And then she goes into her apartment and she's like bawling. So obviously she does still want to be with him, but then she can't. I think that she can't be with him because she's a terrible person and she feels like he's a better person than her. And, you know, Steffi says, I swear Bonnie was a lesbian or she just loves Annalise. Well, when she broke down the first half of season 2 and freaked out and was like begging Annalise, it was like she was in love with her. I don't know. I think that Annalise has just saved her, and she's done so much to help her over the years because she's probably helped cover up her crimes and whatever else, that she just feels like she owes her life. But that was weird. I actually thought they were going to have like a kissing scene or something when that happened, because I mean, the woman who plays Bonnie, that was like such a stellar performance, you know? Could it be that Wes was actually physically forced to kill his mother by the guys who wanted her dead for not showing up in court? Oh, wow. That would have just been, oh my gosh. Why though? I mean, why? That's terrible. I mean, if they were there and they wanted her dead, it looks like, I don't know, I guess to get the blame off of them. That would be absolutely awful if that ends up being true. So Andy says, Annalise said there's nothing incriminating in the videos, but isn't Sinclair's body in the video though? Confused. Yeah, I need to pay like really, I've watched it twice and like I see the videos, but I'm not looking at them intently. So I don't know. Is that part of one of the videos, like her body like flying off the roof or whatever? Or like, I feel like they were like carrying a body out or something. King says she wants to be Annalise. We're talking about Bonnie. Yeah, I think she's in love with her in that kind of way. Like she idolizes her and she thinks she's like, you know, a goddess basically, and she wants to be like her. Someone is saying that the kiss between Wes and Carla, which is so funny because Carla is her real name, Laurel's real name. That's okay because you know what? I did an entire video the last half of the season. I called her Carla like 10 times, And people were in the comments, they're like, don't you mean Laurel? It's so weird. I look at her and I think Carla, because her name's Carla Souza. But yeah, I felt it was a little awkward and a little weird to me. Yeah, the video is incriminating. So I don't know. I just, I think it was kind of funny. I think that Annalise was overconfident because she was like, this is just a trap, and this, Philip just wants to be paid, and we are not going to do anything, and we'll see what happens. And then you find out that someone's been like spying on them and stalking her and everything. Jennifer says Bonnie easily killed Rebecca. It's like she has done it before. She has no guilt. Absolutely. That scene really bothered me. I don't think with Lila and Rebecca, those are two people who shouldn't have died. And it was so easy for Bonnie. And I don't think she has any remorse over it. You're exactly right. Frank and her, they're like stone cold killers. They've probably killed a ton of people. Tony says maybe Bonnie was trying to get rid of Sam to be with Annalise alone. Well, yeah, she was like obsessed with him. You're right, definitely. Annalise is crazy, absolutely. Chloe says, who do I think sent the video, or do we know it's Philip? Definitely not Philip, and we're not really sure who it is, but we were talking earlier, and we think it's Oliver, just because that would be surprising, and I don't know. It's probably not him, but it was really funny when Laurel was cursing in Spanish, Deja. That was really funny. Yes, Wes was really obsessive with Rebecca. Absolutely, Steffi. It's terrible, though. Mark says there has to be something up with Laurel. She has a rocky relationship with Annalise. She seems to have a lot of focus in these episodes. I think she's going to be involved in a twist soon. Yes, she has really come forward as one of the main characters this part of the season. A lot of emphasis on her. I've always felt like Wes was the main character of the students, but she's kind of like a close second at this point, so it's going to be interesting to see. Plot twist is that Bonnie is behind everything. That would be really interesting, Jennifer. Chloe thinks that it could be Nate. Yes, that was tossed around a little bit earlier, too, that Nate could be the one doing this. And a lot of people would think, well, it wasn't him because he was in one of the videos, but he would have to be working with someone. And who that someone is, I don't know. I don't know if it's Philip. I don't know if it's Oliver. I don't know if it's Eggs 911. I don't know. So Ben says this whole video thing that they send the video in anonymously, then how could they prove you were at the crime scene? Annalise's point didn't make that much sense to me. Well, he could send all that video, he or she could send all that video to the police, and it really wouldn't make any difference who they were, but I don't know if I'm answering your question right, but like just all of that stuff showing them would be enough to put them in jail or whatever, because that's very incriminating. Jennifer says Laurel is my favorite character, her and Wes. Yeah, I really like Laurel too, and I like Wes. Guys, I wish I need to find this online and tweet it out. But if you ever watched the Wendy Williams talk show, she had Alfred Enoch, who is Wes, on her show last week. And it's just so crazy to me because he's British and he's like, man, like his actual voice is so different than Wes's voice. And when he said it's very difficult for him, it was very difficult for him. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but he said it was really difficult for him to try to talk with an American accent, and he had to try really hard, and he felt at first he was doing it all wrong and that people were going to laugh at him. It was a really good interview because she made him do half the interview as Wes, like with Wes's voice, and then the first half he did it as himself. But if you guys could like Google that or whatever, I'll try to find it here after we're done, and I'll try to tweet it out. And I'm Kellie_TV. That information's down below on Twitter if you're on Twitter, if you want to follow me or check it out or whatever. Steffi really liked Michaela and Eggs 911. Well, I kind of liked them, but I always felt that I think there's a lot about this Eggs 911 person we don't know, and I think it's probably not good. And knowing this show, I feel like we're gonna find out more about him. He'll come back around. So yeah, Tony says it's on YouTube. So yeah, Wendy Williams with Alfred Enoch. I don't know if he says it Enoch or Enoch. Do you guys know? Andy saw it. Yeah, it's a really good interview, and I love what she did with him because she made him talk in his Wes. It was just really cute. I hope you guys can watch it, but I'll tweet it out as well. Right. So right, he was in Harry Potter. Jennifer, I like how you said that. But yes, but he had, I guess this is his first role where he had to speak with an American accent. Really, really cute. He was super young, like in Harry Potter. So, my money's on Eggs 911 sending the emails. I don't know. I'm gonna be happy if that's the case because I literally came up with that during this chat. But this show, they don't throw like useless characters in here. They don't have things unresolved. There was a reason for Eggs 911, and I think that he's going to play a bigger role because he really, if you think back on it, what has he done? What has his character done? Not very much. I'm still not really sure if he's Rebecca's brother. Something's not right with that guy, okay? I just feel like something's wrong. Someone's asking, what is Eggs 911? Eggs 911 is a code name for this guy who claims to be Rebecca's brother. He was in the first half of season 2. He was dating / hooking up with Michaela. But before, he had been like targeting Michaela, sending her text messages with the code name Eggs 911. Levi, thank you, is his name, his character's name. But he said that he was basically trying to get close to Michaela and the other Keating 5 or Keating 4, excuse me, because he was trying to figure out where his sister was, and he thought that they had killed her. So I don't know. I wonder if Laura will show Wes the paper, asked Steffi. That's a good question. One that I could not really figure out last night because I didn't know when she showed Annalise that, had she already discussed what she saw with Wes before then or not. Eggs 911 is A from Pretty Little Liars. Absolutely. Tony says, feels like the paper was fake. The ink used looked new. That's a good point, too. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, the thing about this show that I also love is that as much as we sit here, we could sit here all day and come up with the most amazing theories, because I think a lot of these are, and then they will top us. They will beat us to death. I mean, that's what I love, because a lot of times I can figure out some of these shows, but this one is so hard, and whatever they come up with is better than any of these things that we've come up with. My favorite character, I really like Laurel, and I like Wes. He's kind of been moody and whatever, and I know what, I mean, I can understand, but he's a little bit more annoying to me, I think, in this half of the season. Kimar says, am I the only one thinking Wes is kind of evil? He killed Sam, maybe killed his mom, almost killed Annalise. Well, I don't know. That's our other thing that we have to think about there. Because when it happened, my first thought was, yes. When that happened last night, I thought, well, yeah, he killed his mom because he killed Sam, and he didn't have a problem shooting Annalise. He was getting ready to kill her. You know, really, Laurel saved him there. Saved her, too. I don't know. I don't want to believe that. That's what they want us to believe, I feel, but I'm not sure. Why our name's important, says Jack Fillet. He is the most talented actor on the show after Queen Viola, of course. Do you think so? It's hard. In my opinion, if we're going to ask that question, Viola is the best actress on the show. And I would put the person, I can't think of her name, who plays Bonnie. Is it Liza? I think it is something like that. Second. However, everyone on the show is so talented. Like, I can't think of someone who's a bad actor slash actress. So Andy says Annalise was weirdly passive considering they were being blackmailed. Agree. Usually she's hyperventilating. That move to do nothing was so stupid and so unlike her. Agree. Now, what does that mean? Which 3 students do you think will be the best at covering up a murder and not getting caught? Well, really, I think they've all done a really good job. The only person who sometimes loses her mind is Michaela and Asher. They're probably the weakest links, in my opinion. Laurel could have written that to get back at Annalise. We're talking about the note that says Wes killed his mom. I don't know. Interesting. I don't get why Annalise is angry at Wes after all she's done. I mean, he shot her, but she was begging, Maria. Absolutely, she was begging. I think it's because he was supposed to shoot her like in the leg or something. He was basically shooting to kill her. Okay, maybe that's why. Yes, I never watched the Gilmore Girls, but I know that Bonnie was the person who played the character Paris on that show, which it means nothing to me because I haven't watched it, but definitely I've looked at her on Wikipedia and stuff before. But I don't know if she was good on that show, but I just think some of the moments she has on this show as Bonnie are just some of the moments she had. The first half of season 2 were just absolutely amazing. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Someone told me that in my last live chat, and I need to find out the name, but the company is like Mirabella. I know a lot of you don't care, but I'll try to put it in the description. I'll do that for my video tomorrow in case anyone else is wondering. So Mark says the great thing about this show is that no matter who the villain is behind some of the stuff, you'll be shocked, right? It's not like Pretty Little Liars where every character will be predictable. Absolutely. And when they do red herrings, they know how to do it well. So in my opinion, they're throwing out fill up as a red herring, and there's nothing wrong with having red herrings in shows. It's necessary, okay? But they do it in a smart way, and it'll make sense, I think, when all of this comes out. Like, I just feel like, you know, they don't make people red herrings. For example, they don't make, like, let's say they make Wes look like a villain. They're kind of making him look like that now. Well, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't keep doing it over and over and over. It's not like they made Wes look like a villain before, and they're making him look like one again, but all of it's just a bunch of crap. That's what Pretty Little Liars does. If you guys watch that show, that's not what this show does. So I guess Bonnie did a good job on the Gilmore Girls show as well, because I know people really love that show, but it's interesting. So Tony says they give us red herrings without them being red herrings by simply accusing everyone, but they do a great job of it. And I just think that this show is really, if someone was trying to make another show and like kind of copy or pattern it after How to Get Away with Murder, they would really have their hands full, because I just feel like it's so well thought out. And you have to give mad props to Shonda, because she's a genius, in my opinion. You know, I just think she's simply a genius. I just don't know. And the people who write this show, just thinking about, like, if you ever think about like how much goes into writing all this, because they have to have all these plot twists and all these backstories. They have it figured out way farther than what we have right now. So people's minds put all this stuff together, but it all connects, and it's going to connect into the future episodes, and little pieces have to be thrown into every episode. Like, I just have the most respect in the world for these people. That's incredible to me. Anyway, Mark is excited, beyond excited for the finale. If it's anything like 2-9, it's going to be amazing. Oh my gosh. Every episode is kind of like a finale with these endings lately. They're just getting better and better. Chloe's asking, when is the season finale? Does anybody know? Because it should be for a little while, because we just started. This was our third episode of the second half of season 2. So Keymark says, in the flashback when Wes is being questioned after his mother's death, Annalise did not look that pregnant. Well, that's true. Is she just faking the pregnancy because she was married to Sam at that time and Eve was also there in the moment? I don't know. I mean, obviously that is a big part of our story here, our pregnancy and what happens with the baby and all that, but we still don't know yet, so I don't know. Chloe found it interesting to learn about Laurel's father, always wondered why she didn't go too crazy when everything goes wrong. That was interesting. That's probably something that's going to be more important as time goes on. Tony's also thinking that Annalise is faking the pregnancy. Why is she, though? Like, what is the motivation? It might be because did Sam really want a kid? I can't remember. Jennifer says it's funny because they look like they planned it all before even started writing it. With Pretty Little Liars, they write it as they're going along. They actually do. I've read interviews with Marlene from the past. She would say that they would change around to A's, whichever A was going to be. Like, they would change that around based on what people were saying on social media and stuff. So they really actually, Pretty Little Liars writes the show as they go, which is not smart. You can't do that in a mystery show because, I mean, obviously you can probably go back and watch How to Get Away with Murder from the very beginning, and it's all going to tie together because it's smart. Like, I have no doubts that it doesn't all connect in the best way, like in this miraculous way. Sadly, we have our season finale in 3 weeks. Oh my gosh, that's sad. I mean, I guess that's kind of what happens when they split the seasons. You know, both halves are not going to be super long because it's a split season. So Steffi is right. Annalise did say she never wanted a child. So I'm confused. I'm confused about all of that. Chloe says, can't remember if she said something about not letting Sam go to the hospital appointment with her. Can't remember. She was saying to him that there was some concern that when she was going to go to this trial in Ohio, that she might give birth, like Frank was worried she might go into labor there. And I think Sam was wanting to come, but she told him no or something. I don't know, something along those lines. Andy says, love Shonda Rhimes, but the writer of the show is Pete Nowak. Okay, well, he's a genius. So, right, she's probably the EP, the executive producer, I guess, or the director. But so he's like our mastermind then. So he deserves mad respect because he's just freaking amazing. Jennifer thinks that How to Get Away with Murder is so underrated. I mean, I feel like it has gotten some publicity and stuff, and I mean, Viola's won a couple of awards for it, but it deserves all the awards, really. Do we think the show will end after the Keating Five leave law school, or would they stay, or would Annalise get a new Keating Five crew? I think that's a really interesting question. Now, if you look at other Shonda shows, they seem to go on for a while because we have Grey's that's been going on for who knows how long, a long, long time. Scandal's been going on for a while. So I don't know. I think at some point, it would be kind of silly if all these people, we were still supposed to believe they were still in school, but we could probably carry it on with them being out of school and doing stuff with her, working for her, whatever, as graduates. I don't know. Because obviously they all want to be lawyers, though, so they could all be at a law firm together or something if they wanted to. I don't know. What about what the defendant said to Annalise? I think you're talking about the guy's dad, and we talked about that a little bit, but he's just like the lowest form of life for talking like and for the stuff that he said. That was disgusting. So Mark says apparently the ratings for the first half of the season were on average 6 million per episode. Last week's episode dropped down to below 4 million. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled. Oh my gosh, I hope not. I don't feel like it'll get canceled. I love this show so much. I would just be like crushed. You guys would too, I know. It would be interesting to see another Keating group, Niece says. And I think that they could go with that because these people would just be all like brand new and they wouldn't know all the craziness that was in store for them. And that would kind of be a good way to build new stories, I think. Maria says, I hope they don't do a season just for doing it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they will. I think that even I don't know if some of you guys watch Scandal and Grey's and stuff. I don't know, has it gotten like old and terrible? Because I just have a lot of friends who watch Scandal and they seem to be really happy with it still. I don't know. So Why Your Name's Important says, I would much rather this show end on a high than PLL and their 6th season rubbish. Yes. Jennifer watches it online on, is it Putlocker? Because she lives in the UK. So she watches it every Friday. Okay, hopefully that's free. Andy says the students are still in their first year. Can you imagine how many will be dead by the time they finish law school? So that's another good point. It seems like they've been in school for a while, at least in my opinion, but time is moving slowly in the world of How to Get Away with Murder. So we only are in our first year. So that gives the show time to build and grow into more seasons if they're making time go by slowly. So I don't think there's really any kind of rumors that How to Get Away with Murder is going to be canceled. I don't think there's any I don't think we should be concerned. Kimar says, what if Wes just killed his mom when she told him not to watch TV? Yeah, because he was like, we were going to watch TV, and then he cried. If he did kill her, he's like one of those devil children, and he's like seriously disturbed and crazy. Joe says that she didn't fake it because Annalise and Sam went to the doctor together when we're talking about the pregnancy. I mean, I guess there's a chance that they went to the doctor. She goes back into the room and excuse me, and like Sam sits in the waiting room and she's paid the doctors to not say anything. I don't know. Hi, Maria, you're in Paris. I'd like to go back there someday. I haven't been in quite a while, and I loved it, and I love the UK actually. I've been to London and where else have I been? I've been to Scotland, like Edinburgh. So yeah, I would definitely like to go back and like to see more places. Hopefully, like the next couple of years, I would love to do that because I miss it. Niece is in Paris too. Okay, very cool. They did show her stomach being big, Annalise, but I guess she could be wearing like a suit. Obviously, she is wearing some kind of whatever suit to play this role, but so Why Your Name's Important says, doesn't think they'll kill any main characters off, not yet. I think eventually they will, but it doesn't, you just never know with this show. Like I don't see it coming right now, but you just never know. Mark says maybe Annalise killed Rose because she found out something about the baby. What if Annalise had an abortion and she found out? Well, I don't know. She was mentioning her baby some. She kind of did talk about that quite a bit. Rose did. So I don't know. Interesting. Steffi wonders if we will meet Wes's foster family. Maybe they'll tell us some odd behaviors he had as a kid. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, that would be really interesting. So Niece says Rebecca was a main character. She was, in a way. She was. I guess people are kind of talking about one of the Keating 5 being killed off. I think that's what we were kind of referring to. But she was a pretty big character. I mean, Sam was a big character, and he was killed off. They're not afraid to kill people off. We know that. But we'll see. All Shonda TV shows have a long time span between the years. Grey's had interns for 4 seasons before they became real surgeons, says Britt. So yeah, so I think that's kind of the formula that Shonda uses, which means we could really extend this show because every year to us in our time is not even like maybe it's just a couple of months in their world, you know? Yeah, where are Wes's adoptive parents? I don't know. It's a great point. That's really interesting. If they do kill off a character, who do you want it to be and why? Asher, because I think he's really annoying, which sucks because I like him as an actor. I like Matt Montgomery. I think I've told you guys this. I like him on Orange is the New Black a lot, even though he wasn't even, I don't think he was even on the whole last season. Why her name's important is Rebecca was not a main character. She was, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, she's not one of the main characters. Like, in my opinion, she's more like an Oliver because he's not a main character. He's someone we see a lot, but he's not. The main characters are like the Keating Five, Annalise, Bonnie, Frank. Those would be our main characters, I think. Maybe I'm leaving someone out. They can kill Wes as soon as they like. Why her name's important is not like Wes. You do know the actress. Rebecca has probably played in more things than this, but she was in The Killing. She wasn't shown a whole lot because she was the girl who was killed. She played the girl who the whole show was about. Steffi loves Wes, even though he can be clingy and moody. Rebecca was a badass. She drove me nuts, to be honest. That character, I am sad that she died on the basis of she didn't deserve to die, but I don't miss her. She drove me crazy, really. So Kimar says that line when Annalise said she never wanted children, but now claims that the Keating Five are kind of her children made you love Annalise even more. So that's a question that I'll ask you guys. We just have a few minutes left. Do you love Annalise? Do you hate Annalise? Do you not care? What are your thoughts on her? I love all the characters, says Georgie, but I feel like Bonnie might be killed off. That would be interesting. Andre says, I feel like Annalise lost her baby because of the old man. What old man? Oh, the defendant's dad. And since Wes's mom doesn't want to testify, they'll try to kill her. And Annalise warns her, so they fake her death. I don't think she's dead. That's interesting. So you think that Wes's mom is still alive, really? Chloe loved it when Connor called Annalise mommy. That was really funny. The interaction between those two was really funny. Jennifer had, yes, both. This is how I feel. Love her, but hate her, says Jennifer. Love to hate Annalise, says why her name's important. I kind of agree with you because I definitely don't dislike her. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like she doesn't really have any morals or anything, but you know, she makes the show. You got to be honest here. She's the perfect actress too to play that role. Chloe loves Annalise. Maria loves Annalise. So well played. Andy loves her, but wish she was less of a recluse. She's too all or nothing. Absolutely. Because for such a smart woman, she does make some pretty stupid decisions sometimes. But so far, she's always come out on top. So we will see if she always comes out on top forever, because I don't think she will. Wes's mother did look really dead. I agree. I don't know. We'll see. I would be so scared of Annalise too. That's what Tony's saying, because I mean, I can see why those students are afraid of her. I would be terrified of her. She's very intimidating. She would scare the crap out of me. Love her when she has feelings, says Jennifer. Yes. And you know, there's some moments that show she's not a terrible person. Like she could have easily helped Nate's wife kill herself and she didn't. You know, I don't think she's terrible, but maybe. Mark would be surprised if Frank survives in the finale. Once the secret about Lila is out, he seems like a perfect character to kill. I hate him too. I don't like Frank. Yeah. I think that Frank is bad for Laurel. I mean, who knows what her background is? She may be crazy too, but I just think he's done a lot of terrible things. I know a lot of people love him, but I don't know. I just think that he is not a good guy, and Bonnie's not good either. Chloe says, I think Frank could die. He kills everyone, so maybe it'll backfire on him. Yeah. He's one shady guy. You want to meet the real life AK. So do you want to meet Viola Davis, Kink, or do you want to meet someone who's a lot like Annalise, I guess, in real life? Chloe would miss Frank if he died. I don't know. I don't know. I used to really dislike him, but sometimes he's tolerable, I guess. I think the most annoying character is Asher. He just acts so stupid, and I know they're just really annoyed by him too, and he he says stuff like that's not even like he just says things that he thinks are cool and it's not cool, and he just acts ridiculous. Although I do kind of feel bad for him with this whole Bonnie thing because I think he really loves her. So you want to meet someone like Annalise Keating, says King. That would be crazy. I'm sure there are people like her out there. Well, I hope not actually. I mean, I'm sure there's people who are lawyers who have her demeanor or whatever, but so Mark wants to know, wouldn't it be great if Laurel ends up killing Frank? It would be great. Yeah, I don't know. I think she loves him, but I don't know. Jennifer is like me. She hates Asher, but loves his character. He's great in Orange is the New Black. I love his character, which is funny because, I watched that show first because it was on before How to Get Away with Murder. But when I saw him, that's one of the reasons I started watching How to Get Away with Murder, because I saw Matt McGorry was going to be on it, and I love Matt McGorry. And then when I saw him on this show, I was like, oh, okay, because I told a lot of people to watch. I told a lot of my friends to watch who watched Orange is the New Black, and then they're like, this guy is so annoying on here. I can't deal with him. He is. So you were actually rooting for Michaela and Levi, says Andres. They were pretty good together, but I still feel like Levi is like a really bad criminal or something. Let's see. You thought Caleb was gay, says Steffi. I mean, I guess he's not. I don't know. If maybe he's bisexual or something, or I really don't know. Okay. Michaela is my least favorite this season. Last season, it was Asher, says Tony. Michaela honestly drove me insane when she lost her engagement ring and all that drama. That drove me absolutely crazy. Like, oh my gosh. I think she's a little more tolerable now. Why Our Name's Important really hates Frank and Laurel. Sorry, but I feel like Frank doesn't really have any feelings for Laurel. He didn't care about her much this week. I think she loves him more than he loves her. I don't know. I think he loves her, but he's got such a bad past that I just don't see that working out between the two of them. Georgie thinks that Caleb might die. Mark says we need Sinclair back. She was so annoying that I loved her. That woman, it was the worst woman on the show. I was so glad that she died. Literally, that's the worst character they've had, I think. I mean, like a long-term character. Andy says, last prediction, Bonnie is pregnant. Did you see her face when Annalise was talking about kids? So maybe Bonnie had a kid was pregnant by Sam back in the day. I don't know. That's interesting. Oh, really? So Carla Souza liked Andre's tweet last night, and so now you can finally die. That is so cool. So you guys think that Bonnie had a kid? Oh, wow. I think Michaela, or the woman who plays her, is really pretty, but I think we've had this discussion. But I think that Carla Souza is very pretty too. So we just have a few minutes left. I know Steffi's got to leave, so thank you for being here. But my video where I give you guys more theories and my whole reaction about last night's episode will be up tomorrow. So I hope you check that out. If you're watching this and you have not subscribed to Kellie TV, please do. That would really make me happy. I love that so much. And if you came into this chat late, or you had to leave early or whatever, then then you're not here if you had to leave early. But if you came in late, this will be on my channel in just a few minutes. So you can watch the whole thing that you missed. So yeah, so I guess we'll just end it here. I love you guys so much. If I didn't get to your comment or you think of something, just, comment it when this comes up on my channel a little bit later. But I thought this chat was really good. We had a lot of stuff to talk about, and I really enjoyed it. And I love that I can talk to you guys about it. So thank you so much for letting me do that every week. And I will see you tomorrow with a new video. So bye, guys.